An unexpectedly slow day today here at Disneyland, but there are reasons. Haunted Mansion is popping, but Rise not so much. Join us as we tour the entire park, every land and every attraction. Can't wait to show this to you. This is our State of Disneyland report. You ever just stop and marvel at the enduring energy and electricity that Disney is somehow able to capture on a daily basis, an hourly basis? This place is always just so happy. And I love Disneyland, but I especially love Town Square and starting shows here at the top of Town Square. I love being up here at the Disneyland Railroad train station, which is unfortunately closed at the moment while they refurb the tracks. But that's one of my favorite things about coming to the park, is knowing the consistency of what's going to happen out there in the park and knowing how that's going to transform me personally on the inside. Every time I pass through that tunnel, I go through that threshold and I see Town Square revealed before me, it really, really makes me happy. I'm excited for this report today. I'm excited to see what is in store for us. It's a Labor Day weekend. It's actually Labor Day today as we speak. We are here on a Monday afternoon at about 2:30 in the afternoon. And this is where I want to be, right here and right now. And I can't wait to get this thing going. Let's go get a vibe check down Main Street. All right. Whew. Let's go to Disneyland, everybody. I'm fond of saying that, by the way. I hope you guys are watching our Tours Departing Daily channel. It's the channel that we have set aside for just going to the park and taking in the sights and sounds, as opposed to doing any kind of analytics or commentary or anything like that. It's just about being in the park. Go check out Tours Departing Daily. There's a link in the description. I open every video by saying, let's go to Disneyland. And that's something that I love to say just in general. I love the idea of just deciding to go to Disneyland and you say those words, those magical words, let's go to Disneyland. We're here already. We don't have to say it. But let's get that vibe check going down here on Main Street. As I mentioned, it is 3 o'clock now. I thought it was 2:30. It's 3 o'clock. We're off to a late start today, so that's going to change the dynamics. By the way, there's also no parade right now, so we don't have to compete with the parade. So I feel like that's going to change the way the queues, etc., will be reacting as we make our way around the park. But here's Main Street at 3 o'clock on a Monday during the Halloween season. Hey, how are you? Feels kind of busy, actually. This feels a little bit intense. Although we are here, like I said, at a very different time than we normally are when we start these shows. Usually it's about noon when I'm making my way down Main Street, so I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. But no matter what, it is delightful. It's quite delightful. This is fantastic. I love Disneyland. There's just something about that walk down Main Street that sort of starts your day. I'm feeling very poetic this afternoon. And I'm not sure why that is, but that's how I'm feeling. I hope you guys are up for that. But there is something really amazing about that walk down Main Street. And I hope that people take the time to soak that in, especially those who don't come here very often. Don't be in a hurry if you can help it. I understand, but if you can help it. What I need to do right now, though, is take a look at the reservation calendar. Let's go back to the top of Town Square, check out the reservation calendar for this month. All right, as usual, we're going to start with the single day tickets. And as usual, completely and utterly wide open. We are on September 2nd as it is. No single day is sold out of any kind. Although I think October 31st, actual Halloween day, there are some dates sold. Some Disneyland start dates sold out, but I feel like they're going to replenish those. I wouldn't worry about that too much. But as has been the case now for a while, completely and wide open for single day tickets. At most points, you can just show up to Disneyland and buy a ticket the way it should be. The way it should be. It's not that possible or that easy for a Magic Key holder, which we're going to get into obviously in a minute. But take comfort in knowing that the family from Colorado is not going to have any difficulty getting here if they don't happen to make a reservation 3 months in advance. The family in Colorado should have confidence that they could just show up here to Disneyland and get some tickets if that's what they choose. That is, of course, assuming that the family from Colorado are not Magic Key holders. What does that look like for the Inspire Key? Well, actually not bad. Now, we're in a different period than we were last year. We did our State of Disneyland report in September, near the end of September, around September 20th. So it's going to be a little bit different to evaluate how we were doing last year. But just on what I have found between 2 weeks ago and what I found this week, things are a little bit more accessible this year than they were last year. Right now, today, actually, you can. I'm kind of shocked, actually. I'm kind of shocked looking at this. The first week, or I should say all week, this first week of September, so the 2nd through the 13th are all available. You can book any one of those days right now, including Friday and Saturday and Sunday, although those are Disneyland starts, which means they're getting close to being sold out, and those are probably cancellations, flipping. So it's a little less full, or a little less available on the 7th and 8th on Friday and Sunday than it actually looks. But still, that's pretty amazing that I can just walk in today or tomorrow or Wednesday and Thursday and get and be able to get into the park. Things get a little less available on the 14th and the 21st, the next couple Saturdays, which should be expected though, because those are prime days for the Halloween season. Same for that Sunday. If I look at Enchant, that does explain, although I take that back. It is curious. Those days are also blocked for Enchant Key and Imagine. So those dates being sold out does suggest that there is some demand for that Saturday just from Inspire and Believe. They're getting those dates taken. But otherwise, in general, I like the way the September calendar looks, relatively speaking. I like the way it looks compared to how things normally look this time of year, although I would like it to look a lot better than that. I would like it to look more like the single day ticket calendar, but I'll take this as an improvement. We'll find out when we get into the park out there. We'll find out if this is because Disney has allowed more guests in, or if it's just not as busy. It's interesting. I was here Wednesday night. I was shooting our Halloween video for Tours Departing Daily, and it was kind of dead. And there was no fireworks, and there was no Phantasmic. So I felt like people should have been in queues as opposed to in the park, but I was surprised by how not busy it was. So I'm kind of curious to see how, now Mondays normally are very busy, so I'm curious to see what the,
fresh bake.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm curious to see what the effects will be. Well, not necessarily effects, but just, it's Labor Day on a Monday. Monday being the busy day these days, plus it's a Labor Day. Is it going to escalate? We'll see. But actually, before we do that, before we get into Adventureland, I want to take you to downtown Disney. A lot of news has come up this past week with downtown Disney. A lot of news has been going on in general at Disneyland, obviously, but let's go to downtown Disney first so I can catch you up on what's happening there this month. It's kind of a rare occasion that we actually get to downtown Disney during a State of Disneyland report, but it's worth it. A lot of big news, a lot of exciting news coming out of the Disneyland Resort lately. A lot of things opening, the park getting back on track, and I love to see downtown Disney getting in on that action. Hopefully you guys caught our update on the construction report on Monday. But I wanted to come back down to downtown Disney, sort of have an informal conversation with you and give you some expanded thoughts on what's happening here at downtown Disney, what has been announced, what's been confirmed by Disney. A lot of things we were suspecting, Disney has confirmed. For a couple months now, I've been asking Disney, hey, what's going on in there? What's happening there? I feel like that everything got, delayed, or it just feels like it's been stuck. Well, they have finally confirmed at least 2 of the locations, of the retail locations that are happening here. There's some fans down there. Hi, guys. Just forgot there. Avengers Reserve is going here in this location right there, and then right next to it is D-Landers. This will be obviously Marvel themed. D-Landers will be sort of a boutique of, trendy type Disney apparel. Still no word on what the final 2 locations will be. They are segmented into 4 different locations. That's something we've been predicting since we first saw, you know, this thing go vertical. We said that's very definitely 4 different locations. So still waiting for 2 there. The most cool announcement confirmed by Disney is happening right here on the other side of this wall. There's been a lot of debate about whether or not Portos is going to be in the downtown Disney business, whether or not Disney would be in the Portos business with them. That has been solved, that has been settled. We're going to talk about that location here in a minute. But one of the reasons why we couldn't get confirmation on what's happening there is because they were all waiting to find out what Portos is going to do. Portos has confirmed they're going to be in the downtown Disney business, which means we can now tell you this is the future site of Earl of Sandwich. Earl of Sandwich, that's something we've been calling for a while now. I've seen the schematics, so this has been the destination for a long time, but it's going to go right on the other side of that wall. In fact, it's going to connect with that building right there. It's just gonna come right out here, not all the way over, but maybe about there. 2 stories. The bottom level will probably be the sandwich shop. Second level will be the restaurant portion, and then there's going to also be a tavern, just like they have right now at the old La Brea Bakery. But this is really exciting. I think they've already begun with with working on the foundation and everything here on this site. They just haven't gone vertical yet, but I think we're going to start seeing progress here. It would be awesome if the street team could get in there. You got some Gus staying at the Disneyland Hotel right behind me. That's a great view the Disneyland Hotel does. It has of that section where they're going to be working on. You just have to point your camera to the right. Most folks want to point it to the left in the area that we're in now, but you want to point that camera to the right, looking at the parking lot over there for the Grand Californian. But that's going to tell us how far along they are. There's something happening there, and hopefully in our next construction report, I'll be able to maybe check on the other side of those walls to see if there's any sort of work happening on the foundation. Should note that I do think it's not going to be very long before they open up those locations, because those have been built. That has looked, for all intents and purposes, finished for quite a while now. We've just been waiting for them to finalize. That's why I've been asking Disney, what's happening? What's going on here? I do think it's very possible that this will be opening in the next, month or 2, I would bet. They just got to finish things off, get some signage put up there. We're not near as close to Parkside Market, which again has been kind of invisible to us, what's happening here for the past few months because of the scrim and scaffold. But they're probably, judging by this, I will say this, I was looking at some old footage, and Din Tai Fung was a steel shell at this point 1 year ago. 1st of September, about a year ago, this was mostly just steel shell. They hadn't put up any walls or anything like that. So if we're this far along, I would say we're probably just maybe a few months away, maybe 6 months away before that is finished. So if we have a home for Earl of Sandwich back here, a new destination there in downtown Disney, what does that mean for the current locations? There are actually 2 open right now. The one here in the rear of downtown Disney and the one at the front in the old La Brea Bakery. The expectation is sometime in early 2025, they're going to start demoing the Earl of Sandwich out there at the front of downtown Disney, the La Brea Bakery location, and this will become the one and only location. So we've still got a few months to go of having both of these here, but this is the rear location. It's at the very backside of downtown Disney, right here next to the downtown Disney parking lot, opposite Din Tai Fung. Earl of Sandwich, the ESPN zone is behind me. So if you're curious to know where that location is, you just got to travel to the backside of downtown Disney, which I highly recommend because I like Earl's. Earl's is great. They make a very interesting sandwich. It's different from the other sandwiches that you might get anywhere else in the park. They're fairly nominally priced, $9 for the sandwich by itself, which has always been priced a little bit less than the usual sandwich price you might find in the park. But a lot of that has to do with, I feel like they don't overbuild the sandwiches. It's a nice size. It's perfect size for me. Hi guys, how are you? I don't like a huge sandwich that I can't finish. What's the point of that? I don't like paying for a sandwich that I'm not going to eat. But anyway, check out Earl Sandwich there at the end of downtown Disney. Midway through downtown Disney, you've got Tortilla Joe's. We've been watching them undo this fountain right here. It was falling apart anyway, so it's okay that it's going. It's also okay that it's going because it's just part of the overall plan that they have for Tortilla Joe's, and that is it's for a total annihilation. This building is set to, they filed permits recently for this, so they're set to demo this building. It's going to be magnificent. I can't wait to be here for that. They are going to build an all-new building for 2 new locations, a barbecue joint, which is amazing, and a steakhouse. The steakhouse news is particularly good because we've all been kind of missing Steakhouse 55, or a lot of people have been missing Steakhouse 55, especially those guests who stay at the Disneyland Hotel. It was a loss, and people were like, where do I go to get my steaks now? Well, this is going to be it. It's going to be a little while, though, because first they have to tear that building down, and then they have to build it. So you're looking at probably I'm going to go with 2.5 years, maybe. I'm trying to think about how long it was. It was just, I think, 2 years ago that they tore down the Earl of Sandwich, and was it 2.5 years ago that they tore down Earl of Sandwich and the AMC theaters, which were, together, that's a pretty big deal. So something along that line, depending on how soon they start. But I would guess 2.5 years to go from this to the new barbecue joint and steakhouse. About 2/3 of the way now from the backside of downtown Disney towards the front, and you can see Marceline's Confectionery. That used to be just these two locations here. It is now being joined by that third one, the blue one there, the old dress shop. This is going to be converted into the wonderful world of sweets. They're going to completely retheme and redesign this location. They're going to lean into the having the windows or the availability to watch them make the treats here at the wonderful world of sweets, formerly Marceline's. So this is supposed to be opening this winter, so at some point after November is what I'm guessing. Obviously, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out, because although I do love Marceline's, I have always loved it. I'm curious to see. It feels like they're trying to give it sort of a factory type feel, like a Willy Wonka type situation, which I think is a great idea. I hopefully it plays well, inside the location, especially if they, as mentioned, they lean into that idea of being able to watch them make candy. You've always been able to do that. There's windows there where you've been able to watch them make the candy. Hey guys. Same thing at Pooh Corner. Hey, how are you? Hi guys. Oh, and obviously Main Street. But if they could do something that's purpose built for that, something that's a little like in the round, put that in the middle. Wouldn't that be cool to put that in the middle? I doubt they will, but I mean, I think that would be really cool. I would love to see how creative they can get with that, and I'm hoping that they do. Which brings us to the front of downtown Disney, the beginning of it, and currently the home of Earl of Sandwich. We just mentioned earlier that Portos has confirmed that they are going to be in the downtown Disney business, and that means that they're going to be building it here. This has been confirmed. They're going to be building it here in the old La Brea Bakery location. This was originally designed and built to be La Brea Bakery. Earl of Sandwich has been here since La Brea went out of business. A lot of comedy has been mentioned, said about the fact that Earl's has to keep moving. Earl's was closed, it was gone forever. And then they got a second life here at this location. Earl's was always destined to come back to downtown Disney after the closure. Well, maybe not immediately after, but once they decided to expand downtown Disney in that area back there where the AMC Theater was, once they made that choice, which I guess does assume that was when they destroyed Earl's. So Earl's was always supposed to be here, I guess, is what I could say. In any case, it was never, though, meant to go here. So it's not like they keep pushing Earl's around. It's not like they keep relocating Earl's. They gave Earl's an opportunity to have a proper location while they waited for the new restaurant to be built. La Brea was not supposed to go out of business. La Brea Bakery just decided they didn't want to be in the restaurant business anymore. So that created an opportunity for Disney to put something else here, and that opportunity was Portos. Hey, how are you guys? That Portos is evicting Earl's Sandwich. It's just that Earl's was given a temporary stay, a temporary place to operate while they built the one that they had always planned to build. They had always planned to build that Earl's back there at the backside of downtown Disney, there next to Din Tai Fung. Two of the biggest questions that I have about downtown Disney. First of all, I'm super excited about this because I became a downtown Disney fan during COVID, because this was the first thing that reopened, and Liz and I spent a lot of nights here just trying to get as close to the Disney magic as we could get. We would just chill out there on the Esplanade and enjoy the ambiance and let that kind of just soak in a little bit. But we spent a lot of time here in downtown Disney, and we became fans, more so than they were in the past. But anyway, two things that I'm really looking forward to finding out is, one, how aggressive, how typical are they going to build that Portos location? Because if you've seen other Portos, they are enormous. They are very big locations, and they have an amazing menu, but they're also very reasonably priced, I've noticed. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to maintain either of those two standards here at downtown Disney, where everything costs $1 million. Oh, I'm really looking. I want to see. I'm hoping they do go all the way. I'm hoping that they do build a proper portos here. Another question I have is about the relevance of the choice of building a Marvels-themed gift shop back there. I mean, it doesn't feel, Avengers Campus is still cranking. And we're going to get into this in our next State of DCA report, but I'll put this here, even because we're having this conversation on State of Disneyland. But Avengers Campus is still doing quite well, and they're adding 2 new locations. Does this mean that Disney is confident in just Marvel as a brand? That they can open up another location, another retail location? I have to wonder because I feel like, well, we'll see. We'll see when this new slate of Marvel films comes out if they're still doing that well. But I just wonder how long they're going to be able to keep Avengers Reserve going in that location, or how realistic that idea is. You know, can they expect to sell a lot of merch in downtown Disney? Hey, how are you guys? Hi. Because that is the expectation. You build something in downtown Disney, you better be sure it's going to be busy as heck, because the real estate and that lot is premium. It's premium, it commands a premium price, and you've got to get a premium result out of those locations, otherwise you're losing money. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to our proper State of Disneyland report. Okay guys, you ready? Let's get into some park science. Let's see what's happening around the Disneyland Resort proper, starting in Adventureland. Tiki Room is underrated. This is nice, you guys, right here. This is nice. It's certainly not worse. The expectation being, again, that Labor Day is going to draw a huge crowd. But you can walk into the park right now. You can walk in on either a single day ticket or a Magic Key. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not dead. There are certainly a lot of humans in the park today, but it's manageable. At this moment, I don't feel a lot of pressure right there. And that's just one of the many choke points that we'll be looking at, measurable areas. By the way, before we can get into Jungle Cruise, which is first, I'm just looking at a distance. I see 30 minutes. Mark this time, 3:10. And the wait time at Indiana Jones is 30 minutes. Now, I'm marking that now because we're going to get into a conversation about Jungle Cruise. But I want to see how long it takes between now and when we're done with this. See if they can't jump that up to $50 or 50 minutes or something like that, something more typical. I've been doing a lot of Indy recon. Check out our newsletter. Link in the description. I've been doing a lot of recon for the newsletter on Indy, and also for Patreon. We're doing videos and articles for that. But in any case, I want to see, by the time we're done with this Jungle Cruise commentary, if anything changes at Indy, because it doesn't take long. And that status is Jungle Cruise. Well, it did. Just a second ago, it said 30 minutes. It said 30 minutes, but I turned my back for a minute, turned back around, and now it says 10 minutes. And you can see that that does reconcile with what's happening in the queue. That is empty. I don't know if, let me see if I can get a good look at that. But that's just, there's just one, there's maybe half a switchback up there on that side. No guests, obviously, on the rear part of the queue. Incredible. It's just 10 minutes right now for Jungle Cruise. I want to actually just take a look real quick. Oh, now he just dropped it to 5? He just look at, he just made it 5 minutes. How can that even be realistic? I didn't even know they had a 5 minute. They're just trying to get folks over here, right? Is it even going upstairs? Let's just cruise by real quick. Obviously empty down here. Incredible. Like I could feel people out there, but they're not in the queue, and there's no parade, so there's no parade effect happening. Yeah, they are going upstairs, and there is still a few guests up there, but I think they're just coming right back around. They're going in and just for a minute and then coming back downstairs. I'm kind of shocked that we just barely got started on this report, and we're saying a 10-minute wait, 5 minutes, at Jungle Cruise.
Paging Alberta Falls, paging Alberta Falls.
It's gonna be hard for them to catch.
And requesting you contact them.
A 30-minute wait at Indiana Jones. It's been a few minutes.
QT to make an RSVP for an AM cruise tomorrow. P.S. I'm really confused.
He's yelling at me. It's been 6 minutes since I looked at the Indiana Jones queue. Let's see if there's been any development there. This is why you follow Fresh Bake. This is why you follow or subscribe to our newsletter, join our Patreon for more updates of, on recon and stuff like that, and watch me be terrible with a camera and watch this show, because I called that. Not sure how long they were at 30 minutes. It was at 30 minutes for as long as I'd been in the land, so it had been 6 minutes since I checked it. So give or take 5 minutes, or I should say maybe add another 5 minutes at least. That gives guests 11 minutes to react to the posted wait time of 30 minutes, which is absolutely a call to action to get your butts over to Indiana Jones Adventure. And they have shown up. And the queue is starting to fill up. A 30-minute queue at Indiana Jones Adventure is somewhere near the front, like by the generator. That's a 30-minute queue, generally. That includes, the time up the ramp and everything inside the temple. That's about 30 minutes. Hi. So, yeah, it looks about right. Maybe it's going to take these guests probably 10 or 15 minutes to get to the ramp, 5 minutes on the ramp, 20 minutes, and then another 15, 20 minutes inside. So, yeah, you're looking at about 45 minutes here. People have reacted. I feel like 10 minutes is probably a good time frame. If it's been at a certain time for 10 minutes, it's probably too late at that point. I mean, that's still a bargain, by the way. I still like the size of that queue. That would still be a go situation for me, because Indiana Jones is typically, that could get up to 55, 60, 70 minutes. So even at 45, you're probably going to be a little bit under. You're still going to get it for 35, 40 minutes. But it takes about 10 minutes for guests to react to a super low wait time like we saw 30 minutes there. Curious, by the way, to see how they've reacted while we're still here, how they've reacted to the 5 or 10 minute posted wait time for Jungle Cruise. Yeah, it's back up to 15 now, but there's still no guests up there. There's even fewer up there than there were, but yeah, they've changed it now to 15 again. When I tell you how how much energy and adrenaline this whole process gives me, I absolutely love queue signs, man. It is the best. I love park signs. I love doing this stuff, and I love sharing it with you guys. Let's go to Pirates of the Caribbean and see what's happening there. I can see some guests up on the bridge. So we do have a switchback up there. I feel like there's a flow of guests that are coming in from something. I don't know what, but we saw that when it could have been Indiana Jones and the posted wait time of 20 minutes or 30 minutes, drawing all those guests into the land, because that was quite intense there for a second. And I think it's starting to filter out into the rest of the areas nearby, the adjacent attractions. We've got Pirates of the Caribbean now at 30 minutes. And again, I'm having some difficulty negotiating the guests out here in the walkway. So it's so very interesting, sometimes the disparity that you'll get with what's in the streets and with what's in the queue. So it's looking pretty busy, but that's it. They're not running across the street. Oh, no, did they send it? They did. Oh, she's just now closing it. They had the queue out here into New Orleans Square proper, but they've just, oh, pardon me, sorry. They're just now getting ready to close those ropes off and to button this thing up and just make it right here. But it was busy enough a minute ago for them to have these ropes out. Let's take this report down Royal Street. We don't often come back here. Hi guys, how are you? What's this? Oh, it's a visit from Halloween Town. Come see who it could be. I have one guess. One guess who it might be. Oh man, see, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Yeah, my guess was correct. It's Jack and Sally. But I'm not gonna park there because I'll just be blocking traffic. But there's quite a few people here. Wow, wow, wow. I love Royal Street. Lots of little hidden shops back here. Delightful places. It's a lovely place to be. Including a place like Eudora's Chic Boutique. Tiana's Gourmet Secrets. I love that you can get literal beignet mix here and coffee. Like, this is not a prop. This is... Hey, how are you? This is actual coffee and chicory. How about that? Anyway, I love this shop. This shop is the personification. No, personification is not the right word. The embodiment. The embodiment. I can't say that word right. Of what a Disney gift shop should be. I would normally like to go back that way, but it's a dead end now. So we're going to head down Orleans Street. And go check in on the Haunted Mansion next. Hey, how are you? But first, before we do that, we'll stop in at Tiana's where it is 3:27 p.m. I'm not expecting it to be very busy in here. We're in the slowest part of the day right now. Yeah, it's dead in here. But this is not the time to be. I mean, this actually is the time, if you can help it, if you're trying to, save time, is to get here in between the rushes, before 5, but after 1 or 2 o'clock, which is now 3:30, perfect time, no waiting anywhere. And they've got both sides open, strangely, but this is how you want to do it. They're going to be in and out of here in just a few minutes. There's nobody in the queues, but they sure are sitting out here in the tables. Nary an open table in sight. This place is great. This place is great. Look at this. You see this? There's a queue developing out here for something. I would imagine this is for the virtual queue for Haunted Mansion. Let me see if I can't break through here. Oh my gosh, that is... I thought they were sending this thing... Pardon me, guys. I'm going to slip through. I thought they were sending this the opposite way towards Tiana's. But they've got them queued up here against this wall. I hope that's what's going on here. Because sometimes you'll see informal queues set up. They're not actual queues. Anyway, Haunted Mansion is still doing great. They've been cranking out virtual queues here since it reopened back on whatever day that was. I forget. It's been about a month now. We did a newsletter article recently about what the expectation should be for your virtual queue and your return time. They don't give you an idea of when it's going to reopen or when your spot is going to come up. But I have done the math, and it's about 3.5 minutes per group. So if, let's say if you get your virtual queue and you're in group 142, and they're on group 42, that means you've got 100 groups to go. 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes per group. It's about 350 minutes. That's a lot, actually. So that's about 6 hours. That's almost 6 hours between when you get your virtual queue and when you were able to come back. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to capture this from a distance, but this is the longest queue that I have seen since it reopened here at the Haunted Mansion. Not this queue, not the virtual queue out here, but the queue that's formed past the threshold once you get scanned in. Normally, often I should say, I've been on this 7 or 8 times since it's reopened. I'm going straight up the steps and maybe a little bit down the path towards the pet cemetery. But today I'm seeing the queue getting almost all the way to the threshold. They're using that whole ramp and then the whole switchback at the pet cemetery. So it's pretty busy. They're letting in a lot of guests here at the Haunted Mansion, but they should. They should. It's literally the reason why you build a people eater. Haunted Mansion is a people eater, and that's why you build those, so that you could put a ton of guests in there. You could just cram that thing with as many guests as you could fit. That's their function. That's their purpose. I just want to stop here actually for a minute and observe how popular the Haunted Mansion is. It's what is this, 60 years old now? 55 years old, something like that? I can't remember. Incredibly popular still. Look at all these people just lining up to enjoy this attraction. And it's not even the proper Haunted Mansion, it's the Nightmare overlay. How about that? Look at this queue forming up out here. to get the virtual queue. Incredible. When I tell you that that warms my heart to see an attraction like this doing that kind of business, by this I mean the age of it. I feel the same way whenever I see Matterhorn doing well, Space Mountain, even, you know, Pirates. Incredible. And I don't know if it gets mentioned enough or if it's understood well enough what that means in terms of, you know, the demand for bright shiny objects and, you know, responding, quote unquote, to Epic Universe and Disney needs to do this or that. It's one of the reasons why I cling to things like the Rivers of America, with the Magic Kingdom, when they're turning that into a Cars Land. I get it, but I think it's overthought, the idea that you need to keep coming up with new and better stuff. When you look at the attractions that are consistently the busiest attractions here are the same ones that have been here for 50 years. How that cannot be more apparent today, I don't understand. Why that is not understood more clearly, I don't understand. And with that, we're going to get to do something that we haven't done in months. God, how long's it been since we've had a State of Disneyland report where we could turn left at the Hungry Bear, now the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree? Look at that. Got a new sign up there and everything. These critters are still here. Do you think it's possible that they replace those with Country Bears? This guy and the little beaver back there, or do you leave these critters here? I'd be fine if they. I guess I'd be fine either way, to be honest. All right. I've mentioned we've done 2 videos on this already. We did the, you know, from Thursday morning and then followed up with a construction report talking about, you know, how much I like what they've done here with the surface, the walking surface, and how much I like what they did. We called it the week before this place opened. We're like, it looks like they built a queue out here, you know, outside of the entrance to Winnie the Pooh, and sure enough they did, which I think is great. Although, as I mentioned in the construction report, I wish they had a way to encourage guests to not park the strollers here. Not because, you know, I'm impartial, I have kids, so I know what that's like, but I want to be able to, they put these beautiful cobblestones in here to create this little path, and I can't see them. I can't see the beautiful cobblestones. You know, the little stone wall they built, that's lovely. I want to be able to look at that, just like this thing here. It blew my mind. I'm walking through here Thursday morning, I'm like, why does that look different right there? Why does that look so different? And I thought maybe, you know, they built that wasn't there before, but it was, but that was covered in ivy before, and now you could see the stone corner that they built for the Hungry Bear ramp. I think it's great. But it's super great to be able to walk down this path again, come into Critter Country, enjoy the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, hear that Winnie the Pooh music. I love it. Oh, they've grown the queue out here. This is, they must have had a big rush. Winnie the Pooh's a people eater, though. They don't normally need to go out here. I was ruminating on the music here, the music that you could hear when you're near Winnie the Pooh. And for a long time, I would call that Critter Country music. But it's really not, because when Splash Mountain was here, they played Splash Mountain music. When you're on that attraction, it kind of filtered out around the space. So there were 2 different types of ambient music being played in the land. There was the Splash Mountain music and the music they played when you're near to Winnie the Pooh. So I would expect we're probably going to get some Tiana stuff on the other side right here. You'll be hearing Tianas if you go down that path. And then when you get nearer here, you'll hear the Winnie the Pooh music, which again is some of my favorite music that you'll hear at any point in any part of Disneyland. You hear that? Just makes you happy. Makes you want to go through a pleasant walk in the woods and listen to trees blow in the wind. Hi. And try to find Tiggers and Poos.
Thank you.
It won't be long. Hey guys, how are you? November 15th is the expected reopening of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. November 15th, and these walls will be down, and you'll be able to hear Tiana's music and enjoy both of these attractions out here at the same time. I feel like people's concerns are going to be allayed quite a bit. I'm very confident. I have a very good feeling that Critter Country is going to look and feel very much like it used to, in spite of the fact that they changed the name to Bayou Country, which doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm a person who likes to not stress about the little things. Like, there's only a few things in life that really truly matter. And once you figure out what those things are, you know, your wife, your kids, your, you know, having a roof over your head and the bills are paid and all that kind of stuff. Once you put your focus on just those things, everything else just sort of falls away. You know, it becomes irrelevant. And so, you know, I try not to get tied up in stressing out about whether or not this is going to be this remarkably different space than it used to be. I think, so who cares what the name is? Who cares if it's Critter Country or Bayou Country? I mean, it's fine. I would rather stay Critter Country if I had to choose. I like the name Critter Country, and I think it describes this land very well. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Bayou Country, Critter Country, this place is delightful. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I could come down here again. I can make that left turn and come down to Critter Country during a State of Disneyland report, construction report, and then I can make that left and go on that path, the bridge, and we get to go to Galaxy's Edge as well. But first, a moment of zen.
As we head into the remote areas of the rivers of America, you're in for a real treat. I've been navigating these parts for years now, but I never get tired of taking in the breathtaking beauty of the Breuer River. The majestic trees, the stunning
just perfection. Absolute perfection. Hi.
I see you on YouTube with Magic Journeys all the time.
Oh yeah, hi. Thank you. Speaking of perfection, this transition from Hungry Bear to Galaxy's Edge is perfection. Nice and quiet here at Rise of the Resistance. We're arriving at 4 p.m. Wow, section 4, section 3 is gone. Nobody in either of those. I had almost forgotten. I didn't even check the time for Winnie the Pooh, but it did look nominal. It's like 10 or 15 minutes. Section 2 is empty? What in the 7 moons is going on here? The queue is halfway down section 1 and almost, the queue is almost the cave. The entrance to the cave. That's incredible. Compared to what we've seen in the past, and considering it's a Monday, a holiday Monday, they've installed some new creature. I shouldn't talk. Okay, so, oh my gosh, look at that. 40 minutes they're posted. I don't know if that's a call to action. I just feel like there's just, people aren't coming down here. There's nothing happening here. That is incredible. I honestly can't think of a time since we've started doing these State of Disneyland reports, where we've walked by and seen 40 minutes at Rise of the Resistance. That's incredible. The last 2 trips through here, it's been bonkers. It's a Labor Day Monday. I'm just so confused, you guys. Every time I think I've got it, I lose it. What's happening? We saw 5 minutes at Jungle Cruise, 30 minutes at Indiana Jones. Pirates was kind of busy. No, it actually slowed down a little bit. I didn't show it, but that queue shortened quite a bit before we left New Orleans Square. Can't count Haunted Mansion because it's virtual queue. And now 40 minutes. Rise of the Resistance. I want to know, what does the rest of the park look like? Is it like... What a wonderful segue that is. Hi guys. How are you? Let's go to Docking Bay 7 and look at the tip board. It's brilliant. Hi, Bright Suns. Wow. Last time through, we couldn't even get a spot to sit at Docking Bay 7. We had to go find a spot down there, out there in the main walkway. There we go. Okay, let's see. Alice in Wonderland, 35. Okay. Astro Orbiter's 5 minutes. I was just saying before how I haven't seen a 5-minute wait time. Labor Day Monday it is. Autopia, 15 minutes with a return time in a half an hour. Big Thunder, 45. Okay, that's a little more standard. Return time in an hour and a half-ish. Here we go, Buzz Lightyear. So it's really, so far, it's only the big attractions that are seeing normal stuff, but the less popular ones are seeing a lower wait time. Buzz Lightyear, 15 minutes, return time of now. Casey Jr., 15. Gadget Coaster, 20. Dumbo's 20. Do you think we'll see guests in the back half of that queue? I do not. Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage is 20 minutes. My gosh. I don't know what's going on at Haunted Mansion Holiday, but it's probably a breakdown. It's still 30 minutes at Indiana Jones. Wow. What is going on? What is going on? I think the title just popped into my head for this video. Surprisingly Dead. Do you think it'll be that? Do you think I'll put that in the title? Surprisingly Dead. It's a Small World, 10 minutes, return time of now. Jungle Cruise is up to 25, so at least people took the call to action there. It's not 5 minutes anymore. Mad Tea Party's 10. Winnie the Pooh, 25, no way. What the? Goodness. Matterhorn, 30 minutes. Return time in 3 hours, which is high-ish. But 30 minutes, I cannot wait to walk by there. I cannot wait to walk by there and see how true that is. I mean, it's going to be another 45 minutes before we get there, but still. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, 40 minutes. Wow. Millennium Falcon, 45. Return time in 45 minutes. Mr. Toad's 20, probably not. Peter Pan, 35, probably not. Pinocchio's 20, probably not. Pirates at 30, probably not. Return time of an hour. Roger Rabbit is 25 minutes. I wish you could see my face right now. Oh my God. I am flabbergasted. How is Star Tours 35 and Roger Rabbit is 25? Snow White is 20. Yeah, there's Rise at 40 minutes. Return time of now. Oh man, there you go. Take care. Just without words, I am confused. By the way, can we just take a minute to appreciate this magnificent design here of Docking Bay 7? and the entrance to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Can we just appreciate that for a minute? What a tremendous achievement that is. Hi! It really is great. That's not so bad either. You know what I'm saying? That's not so bad either. Well done. Hopefully they put in that new scene here at Millennium Falcon soon, so guests can enjoy and have a different ride experience.
She was?
So yeah, we saw 45 minutes on the tip board a minute ago. Obviously that's still what it is, but I want to take a peek. Let's just see how those guests are doing. You know, I'm going to break out my phone and get a closer look into the window. This is the only place I can really look and see what's happening. Got my phone out here. Let's see. And oh, come on. So I see guests leaning. They're kind of posted, so it's a little bit slow, I think, getting guests processed up there. As I say every couple of weeks when we do these, if you see people leaning up against the glass, probably not a very efficient queue on this at this moment. It's probably not the quickest queue. 45 minutes. I'd rather go ride Rise of Resistance. At least it moves. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes to make this walk from Galaxy's Edge into Fantasyland. Time to try to figure out what's happening with the wait times right now. By the way, look at this. Like 8 guests in my frame right now here at Galaxy's Edge. We saw it was busy in the streets out there in the regular part of the park, but not so much here at Galaxy's Edge. Not busy in the streets. Okay, we know it's not the discounted ticket, the $50 ticket that's been a thing this summer, all summer. You could still use those. You could still buy them, and you could still use them. They're good through, I want to say, September 20 something, off the top of my head. I know we have a reservation for Sophia with one of those tickets on September 11, I think. It's not that. I mean, you could say, normally you would say it's the day of the week, but Mondays have been the busiest day of the week for going on 2 years now. It's a Labor Day weekend, we should have the opposite. I didn't really make a prediction at the top of this show, but I would have predicted a busy day. It's Halloween. This time last year when the Halloween season kicked on, it was bonkers, and it stayed that way through and into October. Into and through October. It's still the middle of the day. I cannot put my finger on it. I can't figure it out. I thought we were there.
This looks like Benji.
But it's just not happening today. There's got to be some kind of reason. Hey, all right. I got a few more feet to figure it out. Come on, guys. Then we got to get it back into Fantasyland. I do a lot of my best thinking when I'm on my feet, walking around, riffing. But every measurable that I look at right now should be pointing in the other direction than what we are experiencing right now. I don't know, man. Surprisingly dead. And with that, we have in fact arrived at Fantasyland. Another opportunity to check crowd density here. This is a traditional choke point, a point where crowds tend to pinch quite a bit because of the churro cart and the way that Red Rose kind of sticks into the path here. We're running 2 trains, by the way, at Casey Jr., so that's quite literally a walk-on right now. It is 4:15 p.m. If you were to get into that queue right now, hi, you'd be, what's that group? You'd be on this train. When this train comes back, that would be your train. They got the pen set up for this train. There's another train on the track, so the group that you're seeing right here is going to get that second train, the train that's coming into the station in a minute. So when this train comes back in approximately 6 minutes, that would be your train if you were to walk into the back of this queue right now. Well, while we're here, we can see that in fact, guests are not in the back half of Dumbo. Wide open back here. But they are in the middle section. So it's busy-ish. That's a 20-minute wait. This queue goes by surprisingly quick, considering the fact that there's a big, stoppage. You have to wait for them to cycle all the guests, and it takes forever. But they can fit a lot of guests on one rotation. So that whole section right there, most of that right there is getting in on the next rotation. So you're looking at probably 3 or 4 rotations here, about 4 or 5 minutes each. Good. Yep, not a lot of crowds right here. This is another one of those points where I have difficulty getting through often. Pinocchio, back of the queue there is just through the threshold. This was posted at 20. It's probably half that. That's 10 minutes right there. Okay, here you go. We got a little bit of action going on here at Snow White. I like to see that. There we go. Goodness, she's happy though. Back of the queue right here. Kind of, yeah, that's good. That's typical. That's standard. That's a regular day, not a dead day for sure. That's good. Peter Pan though, look at. They're not using the outer switchback here, and they're not using these left switchbacks over there. And it looks like they just grew into this section back here. You see that closed. You see this empty. That's a really good sign, but that's not happening right now. So I would put that at about 30 minutes. And it looks like the sign says
We should do white and
exactly that. 30 minutes. Hi guys. Hi. Sorry, I was just enjoying the music. I love Fantasyland. It's just the best. At Toads, Fantasyland is Fantasyland. I say this often. It's pretty much always the same. There, it gets, 10% or 20% busier or slower on slower or busy days, but generally you're going to get fairly consistent results here. You don't see wide ranges of times. 20 minutes, that's what it says over there at Dumbo. Like you won't ever see Peter Pan, even Peter Pan, go from 30 minutes to 70 and then back down to 30. It just doesn't work like that. You don't see like Space Mountain type ranges. It's 20 or 30 or 15 or 30 or 15 or 20 on a lot of the dark rides and things like that. I was just looking at this the Mad Tea Party queue, which is just slightly over 1 rotation wait. I was tempted. I'm hearing that music. I love taking little rhythm breaks on the Mad Tea Party every now and then, but that's one of my favorite things to do at Disneyland is go on attractions that are like you're at Disneyland when type attractions. Mad Tea Party is one of those. Small World, the Mark Twain, the Disneyland Railroad. I love having those moments. That's why I love Fantasyland. Most of Fantasyland's like that. Dumbo, Casey Jr. It's such a consistent feeling that I have reaction when I walk through at this point in the day, which, by the way, I've already just realized I forgot to go look at Alice. But I have the same reaction almost every single time. It's like, gosh, I want to jump on all these attractions and enjoy them right now. Alice in Wonderland is posted right now at 25. I think we saw 35 on the tip board before. This looks like it's bad. This you don't like, you think, oh, hi. You think, gosh, I don't like always seeing these guest hours, but this goes by so fast. It's 25, but it's a very quick 25, even if it is that. I'd get in that queue, for sure. I'd get in that queue all day. I would also get in that queue, absolutely right now. Storybook Land. Yes. I feel like this is one that gets skipped a lot by guests because they don't want to invest the time. They think it's going to take a long time because it looks like because it's dense, because it's very narrow, and the guests are kind of, collected close together. That is a breeze right there. You see anything inside this brick wall, you're doing pretty well, but look at all this empty chains right here. See all those empty chains? You'd love to see that. This is nothing. This is 10 or 15 minutes, you guys. Don't sleep on Fantasyland. You come to Disneyland, you want a Disneyland experience, you want to feel the magic and wonder. That's the place to be. Fantasyland is incredible. Fantasyland is amazing. Okay. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't get a chance to do any recon for construction videos here at Fantasyland Theater this past week. Let's just take a walk up here. I don't know, we 2 weeks ago we reported, or in our construction report from, I guess, what is it now, a week and a half ago. This is all new asphalt down here. Completely replaced that. For what reason I couldn't say, but I guess they just felt like they needed to. Disneyland Railroad is closed because they are replacing the track. That is, they're presently doing it right now. I wish there was a way I could see just literally anything. I want to see a dug up piece of track somewhere. That would be incredible to look at. Well, what is this? The inner workings of steam boilers. They've got a little schematic out here explaining the parts of a steam boiler. Fascinating.
There's Fresh Bank.
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Wow, what luck. I actually did find a spot back there. There's a little gap there. And you could see the track where they actually ripped up the track. That's cool. That's cool. From what I understand, they're on track. They're on time. And they might actually be able to get more than what they had originally planned. They were going to do it in sections of 4, but I think they're getting a little bit further on. They might be taking that update all the way through to the diorama. But yeah, hopefully by mid-October is when I think we're supposed to be getting the train back. Hopefully. Maybe end of October, before Halloween. And it looks like also they have finished, more or less, most of the demo. The set has been struck. There's still a little bit of Pixar theming up there on the walls there, but all the props are gone. And now we get to enjoy this as an empty location for a while. No word whatsoever on anything being planned for the Fantasyland Theater. It bumps me out because I feel like live entertainment is such a huge part of spreading out not just the entertainment, but just the kind of guests. Because there are some guests who like live entertainment. There are some guests who like, e-tickets and roller coasters. There are other guests who like dark rides. And I feel like you need to have different kinds of experiences in order to share spread out distribute the guests in these different places. You keep building the same type of attraction over and over, and you keep focusing on that, you wind up becoming something like Magic Mountain, Six Flags. Which, the more live entertainment we can get in this park, the better the park is. Not even necessarily as an entertainment fan, but as a fan of Disneyland as a place. The park is better off with live entertainment in it. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. It is now 4:52. It's been almost an hour since we looked at the tip board. And we saw 15 minutes? Or what ridiculous number did we see at Roger Rabbit's? So I got to go there first. I want to see if that's still the case, because that's definitely a call to action, that wait time that we saw at Roger Rabbit's. Very quiet out here though, so far. Yeah, boy, they sure did act. I'm laughing because I can see it, whereas you cannot. But the posted standby wait time is, in fact, 60 minutes now. I hope you guys were able to capitalize on that short wait while you could. No lightning lane right here, though. That's great. Like to see that. Just gonna try to locate the back of the queue. Last week we saw it around the prop room. Okay. Oh, we've found it already. So. All right, I'm not okay. I don't want to engage that bouncer. Yeah, they definitely, the crowds have reacted here. We had a nice lull. Things are picking up. So, well, this happens often, where you see like the elasticity of the park, of attractions, of wait times. Often we'll come here in the early morning or the morning in the early afternoon, and wait times are off the charts and it's super busy. And then you get around 3 or 4 o'clock and the wait times start to go down. And now we're seeing kind of the opposite effect right now with, we saw the wait time here at what, 15, 20 minutes before on the tip board. Now it's at 60, and it's probably all of that because that back of that queue definitely is a long standby wait. Let's check out Runaway Railway next. How's it going? Still posted at 35, which I believe is what we saw on the tip board. Just gonna locate the back of the queue again, but I'm gonna bet we're in the prop room. Oh gosh. See, this is different. Often it is the case where the posted wait time doesn't match the back of the queue, but in the reverse direction. This is actually longer than 35 minutes. This is, we're not even, the back of the queue is not even into the prop room. Wow. Here at Toontown, at least, we are seeing that inverse effect happening. It's light, and now the park is bouncing back into the higher wait times. Am I still going to be able to call this deader than I expected? What did I say the queue or the title was? Unexpectedly dead? I don't know. Now I have to wonder what the Matterhorn's going to look like. Remember we saw posted 30 at the Matterhorn? What are the odds it's still there? Can I still call this deader than I expected, or unexpectedly dead, or whatever the heck? I don't know. What's my title, guys? I don't know. I don't know what my title is. What a weird day. Bubbles. I love bubbles. All right. Backside of Toontown. Minnie's looking pretty standard. 30 minutes there. All right. Hey, how are you? Mickey's is posted 30 also. Let's see, gadgets. Gonna try to locate the back of the queue here. I see it. Okay, there's the back on the other side of Chip right there. So that should be about 30 minutes, is my guess. Oh, yes. Gadgets is great, man. I love it. Go get it. He's having fun. Let's see. 30 minutes. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm now in a mental hurry. I'm now in a mental hurry to go check in on Matterhorn. Now I gotta get there quick, but we gotta stop first at It's a Small World. Just figured it out. I just figured it out. I knew that there was something about this day that was wrong with what we typically should expect for a Monday. It's the fact that it is a holiday. Just like Saturdays and Sundays are no longer the busiest days of the week, neither are the holidays. They're selling. Hi guys. Hi. Normally Monday would be a tier 1 or tier 2 ticket. If you look at Tuesday on the calendar right now, tomorrow the ticket's $104. Today the ticket's $154. That's it. I bet you if I do this report tomorrow, it'll be twice as crowded. Well, I mean, not exactly literally twice, but it'll be considerably more busy. The wait times will be higher. There'll be more people in the park. Guaranteed. You know, I might have an opportunity to do that. If I can get a look at the tip board sometime tomorrow and put that in right here before this gets edited, that would be an interesting thing to evaluate. That's it. That's it. That explains everything. Now what do I do? Well, now what's the title? I don't know. It can't be deader than expected. Small World though. While we're here, 5 minutes. Let's just take a quick look here. Yeah, that's nothing. We were here last 2 Mondays ago. Every inch of this queue was full. That's the difference between a $100 ticket and a $150 ticket. Hi. Incredible how important that is. Don't you think? It's incredible how important that is. Give people the opportunity to save money and they'll do it. Which is fascinating when you think about it, because you also give people the opportunity to spend money to improve their experience. Like with Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, things like that, and people will spend the money. But you give them an opportunity to save $50 on a ticket and they're all over it. And that's probably why also, I wonder if this date was, I know the Mondays are typically, oh no, that's right, we actually did. You could have used the $50 discount ticket here today. This date was open because we had this booked for a minute, because Sophia had a 3-day ticket. We bought her that discount ticket, and we were eligible to use it today. We actually had this day reserved for her, but then we canceled it and changed date. So that isn't a factor, but still, the difference 154 to 104, that's it. That epiphany was supposed to happen way back there on that trail from Galaxy's Edge to Fantasyland. Hey, but at least we figured it out before we left Fantasyland, right? All right, yeah, Matterhorn. Let's see if we can still find that 30-minute wait. I'm doubting it. I'm gonna say it's probably closer to 60 now. That's my guess. I'll be surprised if it's still 30. Although I was surprised to find that Indiana Jones was still at 30 when we went back to it. She's a beauty. Another one. This is still like the king of this park. Matterhorn is. 60 years later, almost. Incredible. You can keep all your fancy shiny rides. Honestly, keep them. Okay, posted 40. And that's probably accurate. There's the back of the queue right here. Oh, and there's, let's see, nobody in Lightning Lane. Not really. Actually, that wasn't the back of the queue. That was just some folks who hadn't yet moved on. This is the back of the queue right here. Let's see if this keeps going. No, they're making a right turn right here. Oh my gosh, you'll love to see this. When you do your little queue recon, when you're making your choice whether or not to get in the Matterhorn queue, if you see the queue making a right turn right there, and going back around the corner, making a U-turn, that's an excellent sign. Anything out here is less than good. So that's great. That might be a legit 40-minute queue, especially with no lightning lane. That's a go. That's a true go. Awesome. Matterhorn is such a boss, you guys. It really is. It's such a boss. Oh my gosh, I love this attraction so much. Come on, guys. Let me give me one more bobsled out here. Here they come. She was shocked, to say the least. There's no subs. A sub just went through the waterfall just now. And there's nothing taken out. They're still loading guests up here in that one. That doesn't mean we can't stop here and appreciate it for a minute. Sure do miss monorail right now. No word yet from Disney on when we might expect the monorail to be back. It will be until at least October 15th now, I think it is. That's as far into the future as the calendar goes. Killing me having both the monorail and the Disneyland Railroad down at the same time. Killing me. It takes me back to when they closed the Rivers of America to build Galaxy's Edge, and I couldn't ride the Mark Twain, and I couldn't go on the train. And that was for like a year, wasn't it? Was that like a year? I remember thinking it was forever, and I also remember thinking there's no way I survived this, but I did. There's your Nemo queue. Hardly anybody in it right now. We saw 20 minutes on the tip board. Wow, look at that. That's a win right there, guys. Get in this queue. Dude, the $154 ticket is killing this park today. I hope they make up for it. I hope that 50 bucks, fills up the bottom line enough. So, it's like, are they making more money on the Tuesdays and the $100 days, or are they making more money on the 150 days? I don't know. Probably so. They probably are still making more money. Just quick armchair math. If you base it on the $100 ticket, the cheapest ticket, Monday would be that ticket, you're getting a 50% increase in price from 100 to 150. It's a 50% increase, but you're not getting a 50% reduction in crowds. You're probably getting a 20% reduction in crowds, or a 30% reduction. So whatever that volume of guests is at 50. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know what that number is. I have no idea. I'd have to look at it and predict if it's going like from, let's say, 50,000 to 35,000 or something like that, which I don't think that is. I think we're still at maybe not even that. Maybe it's just a 10% reduction. Long story short, Disney's winning on that. Yeah, they're winning on that. We'll take this show to Autopia next, where we saw a nothing wait earlier, like 15 minutes. And we're at 20 minutes right now. Hosted. Very light. They've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. They got only 3 tracks running right now. 3 out of 4 are running. That's not good. And they're using a little bit of the risers up there. But I'm not. Yeah, there is some. No, that's not lightning lane. That's standby. Yeah, that could be 20 still. This is still a go. I like this. Although I wish they were running that 4th lane over there. While we're here, though, I want to take a quick walk back here to check in on the train station. It's something I haven't done since they closed the train. I haven't been back to the Tomorrowland station. because they're redoing the sign out here. They've got scrim and scaffold around that sign. I'm wondering what they're going to be doing there. They got a big blue wall up. This is go away blue. This right here, underrated. Underrated. It's so great. Look at all these trees, you guys. Look at all those trees. You just know if they built something new here, they'd cut all these damn trees down and we'd get half of them back, if that. You just know. That's what I'm talking. It's not so much the love for Autopia, like these actual gas-powered vehicles. That's not the reason why I am so in love with this attraction. Although I do love the idea of driving an Autopia vehicle around this little park-like area. But it's the environment that I love the most. It's the environment and the aesthetic that they're giving you, the scene that they're setting. That's the part to love. And that's where I feel like that case gets lost in this debate, and everybody just keeps talking about the ride, the cars, and this and that, and they're forgetting, they miss the beauty, they miss the aesthetic, they miss the setting, and it's just like at the Rivers of America and the Mark Twain at Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom, and the arguments that I've had with many people on social about saying, oh, it's fine, it's no big deal. I'm like, man, I'll tell you what, you don't know what you're missing until you've lost it. You won't know that you missed Autopia until it's gone. You know what would make this even better is if a people mover went by right now. Oh my God. I want a people mover so bad. The idea, like this part of the track especially, this part of the people mover is one of the coolest parts because you go from a height up there, from the top of the Innovations building, and you're going through that tree or whatever, and then there's a grade that you go down, and you're almost at ground level at the point when you get to the bottom of that track down there on the Autopia track. You're almost at ground level, and then it comes back up, and it's kind of going up and down around through the Autopia queue. You can see more of the track back there. Fantastic attraction. Like, I wonder, this is one of those things, like, did people realize what they were losing when they try to convert the people mover to the rocket rods? They don't know. Hi. They just don't know, man, until they take it from you, and then you're like, oh, why did I support that? And we've arrived at Space Mountain. It is 5:17. By the time we come back and do this next State of Disneyland report, the Space Mountain will be open. Matter of fact, by the time we do our next construction update, Space Mountain will be reopened. This is going to reopen on the 6th, on Friday. I'll be here to cover that. I'm hoping we get everything that we asked for, which is really just one thing, and that's the blue lights. That's all I want. It's just some blue lights back in that tunnel, for God's sakes. Now, while we're here, let's take a quick look at what's happening at the Galactic Grill. It is 5:23, which means we should be, during more of a peak time for crowds for dinner now. People should be stopping for dinner. But already, I can tell you, that's not happening yet. Wow. I could count the number of guests in standby right now, and there's very few in mobile order. All the guests here are standby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 maybe? Some of those folks are just loitering, trying to figure out what they want to eat. So maybe 10 guests ordering food right now? That is very unusual for the Galactic Grill, especially considering it is dinner time. There we go. I love this scene right here. Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is great. Underappreciated. People want to replace it. I'd be okay if they didn't. Checking in on Star Tours first. It's back here. Barely. I think it looks like people are just barely in there for a second, so it's a pretty short queue. Yeah, the doors are open, but it's empty in there. So you're looking at maybe a 20-minute wait here for Star Tours. I bet you it's posted more though. Oh, no, it says 20, exactly. I figured it was still, somewhere in the 30s because they still have the doors open. Meanwhile, Buzz Lightyear is having a different experience. Buzz Lightyear is posted at 25. There's no guests here in Lightning Lane, but there is a fairly lengthy standby queue here. By the way, Astro Orbiter was 5 minutes before. It is not. That's, I'm gonna give that 3 rotations, including the pen. 1, 2, 3, so that's probably 15 minutes. But we need to locate the back of Buzz Lightyear. And yeah, this is, they're not out here. They don't even have the stanchions up. They've even taken the stanchions down. They're not even expecting more guests. And it's not going back here into Pixie Hollow. This is usually, this is a good 10 or 15 minutes in this section alone when you're out here. So 25 it is. 25 looks good. That's good, that's a go. Get in that queue and get on the Astro Orbiter, you guys. That is one of those, it's become one of my favorite attractions. Because it's one of those Disneyland experience attractions. I mean, I'm not big on spinning rides, but I'll suffer through that the same way I suffer through Matterhorn. I'll make that trade. Because you get a certain kind of feeling when you're on the Astro Orbiter. Same thing with Dumbo. I wonder, guests at Magic Kingdom, do you feel that way about Aladdin's Magic Carpet Ride? Do you get the same feeling? I know people feel a certain kind of way, some people do, about the Magic Carpet Ride, but probably not the same. Take another one of our tests to see if I can go left. Almost. I almost could, but you got some guests here taking pictures, so I can't go left. So it's still kind of busy. It's beautiful right here, isn't it? Look at the hub. Are you kidding? I told you I was going to be poetic today. God, they got this so right in so many ways. And you'll never be able to reproduce it. The hub is just spectacular, and I'm losing my center. I'm also losing my shot. I wasn't paying attention. There you go. Get your camera right, David. Look at that. Outstanding. I want to go through the castle right now. But instead, we're going to wrap this show up with a trip into Frontierland. Beautiful setting right now, though. Everybody listen. Main Street's fading out. Then it's kind of quiet, silence, no music. And Frontierland fades in. If you watched our construction report, you would have heard that they have applied for new permits here to upgrade the shooting exposition, some back of house stuff backstage. background improvements, which is a good sign that we're not going to go the way of a DVC Lounge or something like they are in Magic Kingdom. Disneyland is still in the shooting exposition business. Here comes the Mark Twain. Look at all these guests making this excellent decision to ride the Mark Twain. All right, well, we got to check in on the Big Thunder next, but I don't think we're going to be able to because it looks 100% closed. We're even taking pictures out here. They've got Big Thunder Mountain Railroad sign thing, which you can get your picture taken in front of or behind. That's cool. Crowd's thick here, though. My goodness. That's rather intense. Look at that. I found some construction walls that I missed. Huh. I missed these in the construction report. This watering hole has dried up. Does that mean that, was there a drinking fountain there? I think there was, maybe. Fascinating day today, fascinating. Roller coaster of experiences. But this being the holiday, and amazing what the $50 can mean to the park experience, what it means to the crowds and everything. Put that in your notebook. Make a note. The higher the price goes, the slower you should expect the park to be. It seems obvious, but it's something that I have often, neglected to observe because, I come from a time when the price for the park admission was the same every day. Most of my park experiences are, a single price. This flex pricing is a new development for me. But anyway. That's our show, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you get a chance to, follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And then you can join our newsletter. There's a link in the description for that. I keep forgetting, in some videos the link is not there. Let me know, and I'll try to. If you don't see it, let me know, and I'll send it to you. And then if you want to show your support for the show, you can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.